So, hi everyone. I'm Anna Nanavati. I'm with Realty Mark Platinum, and I'm happy to welcome you to another episode of Local NJ. We're here today with my son Nick Nanavati. He is a top-ranked Warhammer International player, and he is also owner and founder of the Art of War LLC. Thank you very much, Nick, for joining us today. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's always it's nice to come on.
So I'm so thrilled to have you because I never get to talk to you, Nick. It's so good to see you finally, and especially when you're like 1,000 miles away from me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's nice because I don't get the opportunity to do this very much and see you and so on, even though I can watch your videos, which I don't do, by the way.
Well, I'm excited just because you don't really understand anything about how my business works or anything like that. Something Warhammer. So
Yeah.
it's cool to
So
talk about that.
so tell us about it. Tell us your story, basically.
Sure.
Tell.
So long story short, Warhammer is a game. It's like a tabletop miniatures game. So a lot of people confuse it with a video game. It's a physical game you play in real life. But I've been playing it since I was 10. I started in fifth grade. Um, I didn't actually want to start playing, but I just started because my friends started in peer pressure. And then I developed more friends playing over the years and got interested and started competing and really made it my hobby. And then over the years, if you do something long enough, you do get good at it, turns out. So I started competing internationally. I got invited to essentially what is the Olympics of the Warhammer world for 7 years in a row. Um, Over time, became the number one ranked player in the world in 2018. I've won multiple international tournaments, and now I've started my own business where we do personal coaching and content creation, YouTube videos, subscription based stuff, all kinds of Warhammer related content. I've assembled a team of some of the best players in the world, and basically that's what we do.
Okay. So I thought it was more like a Warhammer University type of thing. I thought it was more like an educational thing that you were doing. So that's not it?
No, for sure, for sure. There's many aspects to it. So, unfortunately, at the time, you can't really make enough money just traveling the world playing Warhammer tournaments to support yourself. So I had to get creative with that, and I started basically, if I'm highly ranked and my teammates are highly ranked, people want to listen to us. So we essentially teach people. So in that regard, it is like university style, but that's not marketed like that. It's not official or anything. It's just we do a lot of like, if you want to get better at the game at any level, beginner to intermediate to advanced, or new player to help me go my first tournament. We can help with any of that, and we will give you what I think is the best advice you can get for it.
Okay. So, what has surprised you the most in your ventures of doing all this Warhammer thing, in your business, starting your own business and going from, basically zero to the top? And, what are some of the milestones and highlights and things that have surprised you? And, just tell your story.
Yeah, that's a tough question. I mean, I'm still learning all this stuff to this day. Like every day I learn something new. I mean, it's not like I've completed the journey that is this business. I'm in the thick of it. Right.
Right.
So every day I'm learning something new, learning new stuff. But so far, I would say that it was possible, that it is possible. I would like, this was always like a lukewarm dream of mine forever, where it's like, yeah, I'll be a Warhammer player professionally. Wouldn't that be nice? And there was no professional Warhammers prior to me. It's like laughable. Like people just made fun of it. I was like, yeah, what a pipe dream. And I just went for it. And I wasn't planning on it succeeding when I went for it. Like I was like, this is not going to work. Everyone has told me this is not going to work for so long. Like, how could it work? But I never gave up on it. Like that didn't stop me. Like somehow I just kept doing it, and now it's working. So that, I think, in and of itself is the most surprising thing, that if you can just persevere through just about anything.
Okay. All right. And what would your customers say that they love the most about you and your business?
Um, that's a great question. I know I should have an answer to that question on the top of my fingertips. I think, um, I don't know what they say about me personally, but generally speaking, I think that people like that I value sportsmanship in the game super highly, and my whole team does. And I try to like instill that into our values. One of the things I always say, this is very specific to the game, but of course it's a game related business. Sportsmanship is always a big point in the community for the Warhammer players. And there's bad sportsmen who, the community really shuns, and good sportsmanship is really highlighted. And I've really pushed that mantra. So I try to instill that amongst all my people. And one of the sayings I always have is it's better to lose a clean game than win a dirty one. And one of my teammates this weekend actually is at an event, and he took a loss round one because he didn't want to have any negative things about him said in the background about how sportsmanship could be handled or things could be done. So he took the high road, basically took a loss for it. And I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, I'm proud of you too for taking the high road. Most of your, growing up, I saw a lot of what you went through, and you always took the high road. So I'm kind of proud of you for that too.
Thanks.
So what are your goals over the next year or 2 years or 5 years?
Well, right now we're located in Florida, and a lot of that is because my team, most of them started in here. So I moved down from Jersey, where you live, to Florida. And it's cheaper in Florida. Cost of living is a lot less. So it's a great place to start a startup, at least in where we live. Right. But I would like to move to the Virginia, DC area by the end of next year, because that's a much better spot for the Warhammer scene. I think that's going to blossom into a beautiful Warhammer flower. Long term, right now we're only Warhammer players, right? And we're professional Warhammer players. So I want to change our brand identity a little bit to first more than Warhammer players, more than just Warhammer competitors, I should say. We want to be Warhammer ambassadors, like we're the best players in the world already, but we could be really good hobbyists because that's a whole aspect of the game. We could learn about the fluff and the lore and the backstory, because that's a whole aspect to this hobby that a lot of people enjoy. So right now there's so many different ways to enjoy Warhammer, much like there's so many different ways to enjoy a lot of hobbies. But we are super niche in one aspect of the many ways you can enjoy Warhammer. So I'd love to expand that into capturing all of the Warhammer players. And then past that, sky's the limit, but maybe open a community store type thing, or maybe expand into different games altogether and just replicate the business model. Who knows? But there's plans amongst plans, as one does.
So what are your greatest challenges right now? Right now?
I mean, that's down for me personally. It's learning how to be a leader, learning how to manage people, learning how to get all of the work done and still grow. Like day to day, there's the fires you have to put out. Something goes wrong every time something happens, and then you got to maintain, you got to grind, you got to do the crappy stuff that you don't want to do. And you also have to be visioning for the future and executing that. And in my case, being the owner, being the CEO, being the founder, I really need to set an example so that the people can, one, know to do the right thing and what I expected them, and two, they also, like, if I ever have to step away, or if I go pursue other ventures and I want to lead this into someone else's hands, I need to trust those hands, because I'm very emotionally attached to this business. So I need to make sure I'm doing all of those things. And I guess that entire thing is life consuming. So what is my biggest challenge? All of it.
Yeah. So I know you started this when you were 10 years old. And I also know it was one of your teachers, your fifth grade teacher that got you into this, because he had that games club that you were going to. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to know, like, what would you tell young kids today? Whether it be Warhammer or anything else, because a lot of parents are also concerned these days. They don't know anymore what to have their child do. Like, I hear from parents that they're like, well, I can't tell my kid to be a doctor anymore because that profession isn't as good as it used to be in, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. And I don't know what to tell my child to do anymore. So what would you give as advice to kids and parents about, raising their kids and what area that they should focus on and so on?
There's so much irony to this question because you're my mom, but aside from that,
there is. You can talk about the irony if you want.
But I mean, what more is there to say? You're my mom and you're asking me for parental advice or theoretical. Um, anyways, I don't know. I'm only so qualified to talk about this. I don't have kids, but at the same
You
time,
have a dog. That
I
counts.
I do love my dog. She's my baby. But what was I gonna say? You lost me.
Oh, sorry
That's
about
okay. That's
that.
okay. No, I got it. I got it. I have thought about it because especially like I've chosen I worked in corporate life. I went to college. I did all of that to live the what you're supposed to do lifestyle, you know, just fall into corporate America, make a decent living and do okay. And then I hated it. And then I took an alternate career path, turning my passion into turning my hobby into a job and running with it. So I have a really unique perspective on this from a lot of people in the world. So I would say that you should find your passion and just chase it. And if you that is easier said than done. I found it when I was 10 years old by accident. And then I didn't know I was passionate about it until I just kept doing it. But that's how it's born. You're not looking. It's just how do you fill your time with something you enjoy doing? That's really all it is. Because if you enjoy doing it, it's not work. And then like sometimes you don't want to do it and it's still work. But I've been doing this day in and day out. I don't know how many hours I work per week, but it doesn't feel like work and I don't get tired of it and I don't burn out because it's just something I love. It's like it's my existence in regard. So you won't be successful in life unless you can just pour your soul into something. If you're working the 40-hour week and calling it quits right there because it's Friday and you want to go on vacation for the weekend, that's where you're going to cap out. So you need to work more and you're not going to want to do that. You're going to hate your life unless you really enjoy what you do. And you're not going to find out what you enjoy doing unless you try a lot of stuff. So get out there and try stuff, expose
Yeah.
yourself and just run into it. And then don't be afraid. It's not easy, but it's worth doing.
Well, it sounds crazy, but I'm still trying to find what my passion is. And I'm
Well,
an old maid at this point, right?
I think I've thought about that. I was like, because
I've done so many different things, so.
that's the answer, right? So like I what I was passionate about when I was 10 was Warhammer. And what I was passionate about when I was 15 was Warhammer. And what I'm passionate about now is still Warhammer. But it's all in so many different ways, right? So when I was 10, I just wanted to play. When I was like 18, 19, I just wanted to compete. And now I want to grow a business. It's still Warhammer, but it's about it's growing the business more than competing. And in 10 years from now, I certainly will not be as interested in what I was interested in when I was 15, right? Even though it might even still be Warhammer, who knows? But it certainly wouldn't be that. And I think, as you change as a person, what you find passion for changes, and that's okay. You just got to keep actively searching.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Things that my interests have changed over the years and so on, except for a couple things that I'm interested in, that I used to be interested in like 20, 30 years ago, and I'm still interested in. But okay, so you've got anything to tell people about how they can get in touch with you, or how not necessarily get in touch with you, but how they can see what you do, what before we
Sure. I would say you
how
can
they can find you. Yeah, exactly. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can check out our website if you're interested. It's very specific to Warhammer. It's theartofwar40k.com. And if you're interested in just finding out and learning what Warhammer is, you can catch me commentating it for some big tournaments that go on. You can catch some games on our YouTube channel. It's Art of War 40k. Just dip your toes in, learn about it. It's cool.
Yeah, I'll post, on this at the bottom, I'll post some links for you guys. And I wanted to say thank you, everyone. I wanted to say thank you for joining me, Nick. Thank you, everyone, for watching our video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And please like, subscribe, and you know the drill. Follow me everywhere. Follow Nick everywhere. And that's it. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.